Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's 5-minute Chicagoland real estate update. I'm Joe Ensbiglis with the Ensbiglis and Tierney Group of Keller Williams Experience, and I am fired up about the new year, and I'm so grateful to be here, earning my spot as your economist of choice for the Chicagoland real estate market. Got some really interesting data to show and talk about today. A lot of really crazy things going on in the Chicagoland housing market right now. So it's really exciting stuff. But without further ado, let's dive into the numbers. So this first week of January, we're going to focus on our month supply of inventory, and we're going to talk about the relationship of that to what's going on with interest rates and how that affects buyers and sellers. So month supply of inventory, it's basically a metric that that says that if no new homes came on the market at the current sales rate, how long would it take to sell every single available home? In our market, we look at about 5 months of inventory as a balanced market. Anything less than 5 months is typically a seller's market. Anything more than 5 months is typically a buyer's market. So the numbers are out for December of 2022, and let's see where we are. Okay, Cook County, for December of 2022, we had 2.1 months supply of inventory on the market. DeKalb County, 1.4 months of inventory on the market. DuPage County, 1.2 months of inventory available. Kane County, 1.2 months of inventory available. Kendall County, 1.3 months of inventory available. Lake County, 1.4 months of inventory on the market. McHenry County, 1.2 months of inventory on the market. Okay, so if 5 months is a balanced market, and these are our December numbers, at face value, it looks like we're in the thralls of the craziest seller's market in history. Okay, but there's a little bit more to the story right now. Okay, because of inflation and the Fed's efforts to ease inflation, interest rates have been on the rise since August of 2022. Okay, interest rates are going to be the most important factor for us to keep an eye on during this spring market. And it's going to be the biggest indicator of what type of housing market we're going to experience going into 2023. Right now, both buyers and sellers are kind of waiting on the sidelines to see what happens with interest rates. And this has caused a temporary lag in new listings and properties going under contract. Okay. What's interesting, though, is that pre-approvals are up. And so that tells us that there's a lot of buyers that are out in the marketplace, and they're just kind of waiting to see what happens. They're not ready to necessarily make an offer or get under contract yet because they're concerned about interest rates. The Fed has been raising interest rates since about August of 2022, and home values in most areas of the country have been trending downward as a result, going into the new year. Here's why we're kind of at the crux of a really interesting time. So the Federal Reserve is going to lower interest rates if they have a 3-month trend of downward trend in home values. Okay, so if we think about where we're at with that, there's 2 ways that this can go. It's just as likely that interest rates could get back down to like mid-5s or so by April, as it is that interest rates could be back up to about 7.5% by April. Okay, the Federal Reserve is watching. They're watching these inflation numbers. They're watching housing in particular, and they're using that as a gauge of whether or not they're going to lower interest rates. If the Fed lowers interest rates, mortgage rates will follow suit. Okay, so we really have been in a housing recession in Chicagoland since August of 2022, and I know it doesn't feel like that because home values locally are still so high. But other areas of the country, it's not going as well for them. So, and the Fed is looking at national data to make these decisions about interest rates. So while volatility here, locally in Chicagoland hasn't been quite as bad, we haven't felt it quite as much. In other areas of the country, it's been really difficult for home values. So what we may see, what I feel is that we may be at the peak of this housing recession right now. Okay, if the metrics that the Fed is tracking to decide what to do with interest rates suggest that they should lower rates, and we get back down into the mid fives by April of this year, we're going to see another buying frenzy like we did back in 2021 and most of 2022. Okay, I'm talking the potential of most properties going under contract with 5 and 6 offers for 10% plus above list price. Okay, if rates go up to mid sevens, which they're at about mid sixes right now for a 30-year fixed mortgage if you have good credit, if they go up to mid sevens, we're going to see the opposite effect. We're going to see a slowdown in the housing market. Okay, home values will probably be negatively affected by it. So it'd be interesting to see what happens with that. What does all this mean for sellers? Okay, right now is still a very good time to list your home for sale. And the reason for that is there's very little competition. You saw the numbers on month supply. Very little competition available in the marketplace right now for buyers. Very few options for buyers, I should say. If rates go back down to 5.5%, we'll see more inventory come on the market. So yeah, buyers will jump back into the game, but we're also going to see an uptick in inventory. So really, as far as inventory is concerned and competition is concerned, now's an excellent time to list your home. If you're planning to list in the spring, February, March, April timeframe, we need to get together now and sit down and talk about your goals and talk about the strategy. Okay. And the reason for that is there's a lot to do before your home comes on the market. Okay. We're going to have to do a lot of decluttering, which may include packing up about 50% of your belongings. Okay. There may be small repairs that need to be made in your home, like caulking, painting, things of that nature. Your home's going to need to be deep cleaned before showings. We're going to have professional staging done, professional photography. Okay. It's better to have all of this ready to go so that if the market heats up, which I feel it will, if the market heats up similarly to 2021 and most of 2022, all we have to do is press play and your house is on the market. All we have to do is activate the listing. Everything is done. All the work required to get the house ready to go is done. It doesn't mean if we meet now and start the ball rolling, it doesn't mean you have to come on the market now if you don't want to. If you want to wait for a little bit, at least we've got everything done so that when the time is right, we just press play and we go on the market. Okay. This way, we're not scrambling to get on the market to take advantage of a potential buying frenzy that may occur if interest rates get back down into the mid fives. Okay. What does all this mean for buyers? If I was in the market to buy a primary home right now, I would buy in the next 30 to 60 days. Okay. The reason I say that is because there's very little buyer competition right now. It's this really unusual state of the market, right? Because we have super low inventory, and we combine that with lower buyer competition than we've seen in the last couple of years because buyers are hesitant based on interest rates. Don't forget, you can always refinance your mortgage when rates come back down. Okay, a phrase I like to kind of describe that phenomenon is marry the house, but date the rate. You can always refinance when rates come back down. Buyer competition is lower now than it has been for the last 2 years. And that's a great advantage for buyers. This may be a really short window of opportunity. Okay. If the Fed decides to lower interest rates, we're going to be right back where we were 6 months ago and for the last, year and a half or so. Here's what that looks like. So the housing market of 2021 and the housing market of most of 2022, a lot of listings, the majority of listings were going under contract in a couple of days with multiple offers, 10% plus over asking price. That's not a good environment for buyers. It's a really challenging environment for buyers. So if I was going to buy, I would buy in the next 30 to 60 days. This is really exciting. It's a really exciting time for Chicagoland real estate. I feel like we're heading into something really big. The depths of where we're going are unknown. Nobody really knows what's going to happen. But the numbers are really interesting. And 2 weeks from now, we'll have a much better understanding of where we're going, because the Fed is going to release more information. They're tracking the cost of shelter, and they may give us an indication of which direction they're planning on going. They may not, but they may give us a little bit more information about where they're planning on going in 2023. And my sincere hope is that we land in a balanced market. Okay, I want 2023 to be the year of the win-win, right? The best deals in real estate are when everybody's happy, everybody leaves the closing table feeling like they accomplished what they wanted to out of the sale or the purchase. And realistically, if we end up in another really unstable market like we saw in 2021 or most of 2022, there's going to be another correction. Okay, and the correction could be potentially much larger than what we've seen in this year. So with that, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for being here. I'm really proud to be your economist of choice for the Chicagoland real estate market. And if there's anything at all you need, anything in the world I can do for you, please let me know. 630-297-5429. Talk to you soon.